who not as fortunate as their colleagues, and their exact number was 71. For them, there was no escape route left. On 13th November 1989, when the country awoke in the morning, the first news which was being flashed on news was this tragedy. For the people who heard about Jaswant inundation, this news reminded them of that disaster in which 375 precious lives were lost. In this case, one that came as good news was that the communication network was found to be still in working condition, and the people at Pithead were in constant touch with the trapped miners in the mine. A message was received through telephone that 65 miners out of 71 had taken a safe shelter at level which was higher than the water level. Everyone took a sigh of relief, and to rescue these miners became primary objective of everybody involved. With a short time, the highest dignitaries of Coal India Limited, Eastern Coalfields Limited, CMPDIL, and mining experts from Director General of Mine Safety reached the premises and started discussing about the options in hand. 4 alternatives emerged out of the discussion. First, to install high-capacity discharge pumps and pump out the water as quickly as possible. Second, to identify an old pit and get the trapped out through a cable as usually done during the sinking of shaft. Third, to drill a large diameter borehole and take out the miners through a specially designed capsule. Fourth, to make an incline till the place where miners was held up so that trapped miner can come out on their own. Of the above 4, third was only finally accepted. All the mining plans were minutely studied. The old exploration borehole was searched for. It was discovered that one of the 2 boreholes of 2 to 3 inch diameter was joined with the colliery of Narayankuri seam. This borehole was decided to be developed and utilized for ventilation and communication purpose. A drilling rig was installed at the old exploration borehole and drilling operation started at about 9:30 p.m. The diameter of drill bit was 255 mm, 10 inches. As soon as the bore crossed alluvium and sandy soil, a 200 mm, 8 inches casing was installed. After passing through semi-hard sticky strata, a casing of 150 mm, 6 inches was installed. The borehole was further extended to Narayankuri seam, keeping the diameter of bore as 150 mm. This operation took a total time of 6 hours. A lightened torch was lowered through the communication borehole for help of trapped miners to determining the correct location of borehole. Exactly after 24 hours, the miners were supplied with some important medicines, drinking water, food items, first aid materials, etc. through this borehole. A 200 mm, 8 inches diameter boring was started soon after for rescuing the miners. This bore was joined with Narayankuri seam on 11:30 am on 14th November, but an 8 inches borehole was not sufficient for the rescue purpose. Hence, first to 12 inches, then to 15 inches, then 18 inches, and finally 21.5 inches. The bore diameter was increased in 4 stages. Already it was 1:30 p.m. of 15th November. To prevent the blockage and erosion of borehole diameter up to 11 meter depth from surface was increased up to 28.5 inches and provided with a casing of 24 inches diameter. the ventilation duct has utilized for the same. It was a big challenge before everyone who was a part of rescue team. There was not a single example in the whole world where such kind of rescue was undertaken or even thought of, since there were almost no survivors in case of an inundation. For rescuing the miners, a cylindrical steel capsule was fabricated having a diameter of 17.5 inches and a height of 7 feet, fabricated at Shodhpur workshop at Niyamatpur of Eastern Coalfields Limited. This type of capsule was one envisioned by a German scientist in a mining journal. The capsule was lowered down the rescue borehole with the help of derrick and 10 tons winch. After a few trials, Shri G.S. Gill, additional chief mining engineer, dared to go down in the capsule. It required a lion's heart that would have attempted such perilous operation, but Shri G.S. Gill took the challenge. Shri G.S. Gill, not thinking of his own life, initiated this heroic effort. He reached the place where trapped miners were safely landing. Through the capsule, successfully executed the rescue operation. This operation will go down the annals of the history in the golden letters. Under his dynamic leadership, the first miner came up on surface at 2:30 am of 16th November 1989. One by one, all the other 65 miners were safely rescued in a similar fashion. An unbelievable rescue operation was at last successfully completed. At the end, when Shri Gill came out, the huge ecstatic gathering at the surface lifted him into their arms as gesture to his daredevil attempt. This rescue operation could only become successful because of the combined efforts of all those who were directly or indirectly involved in the rescue operation. Next day, the front page headlines, The Times of India, was Saga of Rescue. The Mahabir Colliery rescue operation is definitely a saga of courage, an unparalleled saga of victory of human effort over the death.